And a good Sunday morning. Thanks for joining us here at the Weather Channel. Will Adden along with Rick Griffin. Something interesting happening this morning. Well, there's a little bit of light snow mixing with some drizzle around New York City, but just north of there, wow.
Well, White Plains, a heavy burst of snow right now, and we are still looking at the possibility that New York City Central Park may get a ½ inch of snow this morning. And if that were the case, that would tie the amount for the entire winter. Of course, we're now in spring, so it's been a pretty snowless winter, I guess you can say, in New York and Philly and D.C. and Baltimore, to name a few spots.
That's true. We'll talk about some more snow, too, for upstate New York and just about all of northern New England. That'll be with your forecast coming up as well. Stick around.
Yeah, that storm is still around. Let's take a look at it. It's actually just east of Long Island this morning and just south of Cape Cod, so it's still producing widespread precipitation over the Northeast, including snow in New York City and Boston, and some heavier bursts of snow all the way from Maine southward to about New York City and just east of Newark. And we'll zoom in on the Northeast region and give you a closer look at what's going on here in just a second. High pressure is moving into the south. Those of you that had a low, gray, overcast yesterday, like Chattanooga, Atlanta, Huntsville, you may see that early this morning. But as the day progresses, the sun comes out as this high-pressure system eases in and the atmosphere stabilizes. Also, notice the isobars are a little farther apart this morning. That simply means that the winds will be significantly less than they were yesterday, thus less of a wind chill problem. And you know, if you get some sunshine this time of the year in late March, it's a strong sun, and it will warm the surface of the earth rapidly, which in turn heats the air. So a pretty good warm-up in the southern states. But nothing like what's coming late in the upcoming week with 70s and 80s returning to the south. More on that later. In the northwest, it's wet, and it could be a couple days worth of locally heavy rain from northern California into the Pacific Northwest as a series of disturbances move in. Let's go back to the northeast. Here's your low center, just probably south of Nantucket or Martha's Vineyard out in the Atlantic Ocean. Pretty good circulation around it and still lots of precipitation from the northern tip of Maine down into the high elevations of West Virginia. Now the heaviest precipitation under these bright white clouds here. Brighter the white, the higher they extend into the atmosphere vertically. The colder the cloud tops, usually the heavier the precipitation. And one area is right here over New York City where the upper low is located. You can probably see a little twist in that area of cloud cover as it moves north. And yes, we have watched bursts of snow moving through the Big Apple during the last couple of hours, and enough snow perhaps to coat the grassy surfaces and maybe the highways briefly with some slush. So if you have early morning travel plans, take that into account. Here's a burst of snow and sleet near Portsmouth. Also, that'd be New Hampshire, Rochester, New Hampshire, coming up towards Portland, Maine, sleet and snow, heavy snow at Concord, New Hampshire in the last hour, and a band of moderate snow here from Lake Champlain and Lake Placid, southward through the Lake George region to about the Capital District of New York, and then snow showers from Syracuse west through Buffalo, and as far south as a few flakes of snow near Washington, D.C., Fredericksburg and Hagerstown, and also Martinsburg, West Virginia. Somerset County, Pennsylvania, still some snow for you, as well as Coudersport in the north central part of the state. Elmira, New York, snow 27, snow in Albany 28, snow in Boston 32, snow in New York City 33, flurries in Philly, and even freezing as it is in Detroit. It's colder in Caribou 22, 27 degrees right now in Burlington. Winds are fairly strong in the northeast. Wind chills now mid-teens New York, single digits in Boston, single numbers below zero in Bangor, Maine. Back to Pittsburgh, the wind chills 24 now in Detroit as the winds have diminished somewhat. These are actual temperature numbers. As we switch back to a 38 in Atlanta, 32 in Birmingham, that's the actual reading, not the wind chill. 46 in Panama City, 59 in Miami, 42 degrees right now in Dallas. Low clouds, as you can see on the infrared picture, breaking up. The sun's going to return to the southeast today, as well as lighter winds, as I mentioned. Right now, things are calming down nicely. Chicago, Green Bay, right now, Dubuque, partly cloudy skies. Some very light snow and rain returning to the plains here, weak disturbance. 33 Rapid City, 28 in the Windy City, 14 in Marquette, 34 in St. Louis. 59 in Phoenix. You're headed well into the 80s today. High pressure covers the southwest, but Low pressure in the northwest and a series of systems moving in means rain and snow. Same for Northern California. Let's find out how much rain and snow. Here's the forecast with Will.
Okay, once again, we'll check on the rainfall throughout central and northern California and throughout much of the Pacific Northwest. That will continue for a couple of more days. And take a look at, again, at the northeastern part of the country, the other problem spot for the country for this upcoming day, with more wind and snow likely there. That storm system will finally begin the weekend, slowly but surely, but later on today. But the winds will continue, while the western part of the country, the rains will continue as well around Ukiah and Eureka, up towards Arcata, California, and southwestern Oregon. The rest of the country, not really all that bad. We're going to be watching for this weak storm system here diving southeastward during the day tomorrow. Good chance of more rain for the northwest. Snow levels very high here, above 8,000 feet in the Sierra, above 6,000 feet or 5,500 feet for the Cascades. So very high snow levels. It looks like the best chance of snow nationwide is going to be throughout the northeast. We're again winter storm warnings out right now for much of northern Maine. It's going to be 25 today in Caribou, 39 New York City after some snowfall this morning, 31 in Boston. Midwest, Chicago, 40, 50 in St. Louis. Take a look at the deep south again. Sunshine returns to Atlanta at 56 degrees, 66 in New Orleans, while the rains continue in the northwest as well. Here's a look at the national highs for the upcoming day. We're going to be watching for that warmth in Texas begin to spread out eastward during the upcoming week, that is for sure. Could be looking at some near 80-degree heat in Phoenix, into the 80s tomorrow. Cool in the east tonight and throughout much of the north. And look at the highs tomorrow. 80-degree heat again in Texas, maybe some 90s into the southwest.
Don't go away. For all of those of you who have travel plans today, we've got the details for you next on TravelWise.
Greetings. Having heard us describe the problems with our old communications programs, the MCI team is prepared to demonstrate solutions. On this afternoon's dance card, multi-point video conferencing that lets you meet with far-flung clients and colleagues without ever leaving your desk. The MCI team even devised a way for me to participate. The silver screen.
Cold enough for you?
Yeah.
Quick race around the block? You and me, around the block.
I don't think so.
Look, they say the Subaru is better in the snow than your BMW, and I say we find out.